Welcome back to this chaos circus that we call Athletics LLC. We all survived the trials. Quite a few fires popping up after, so we'll see if we survive the aftermath of trials after this before we get to the Olympics. But before we get into that, let me introduce the three gentlemen that are joining me on the tiles today. And as always, we've got Cookie Monster, Clyde. How are you doing tonight? I know it's not cookies.
Rice cakes, baby, rice cakes.
I had to expose you so that people know that you're eating healthy. You're not eating cookies. I'm trying. Lamar, I made the team Huffins.
USA.
Freshman squad of USA. That's congratulations.
University of South Alabama. Let's go.
Last but not least, Sir Lucious, how are you tonight, sir?
I am absolutely wonderful, ma'am. So excited to be here with I Made the Team.
I mean, everybody else is putting it on Twitter, so why not?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna run out and get a tattoo. Oh wait, I have one.
You have one.
Wow. I think I heard your bicep pop when you flexed.
Exactly. Subtle flex right
there. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll schedule your hernia appointment from that flex. That's anyway.
Hey, how about them tan lines though?
Hey, I don't know. That's what they are. Anyways.
Right, let's stop taking shots at each other.
So let's talk about the oversized elephant in the room. Olympic trials week 2. There is a lot to be said, so we're going to selectively talk about the bigger things that we wanted to cover. So no, we are not ignoring things. No, we are not oblivious. Obviously, 2 of the 4 tiles were there, so I don't think they could have missed that stuff. But these were grand markings that we wanted to make sure we addressed. So, Grant Holloway.
Did Grant do something?
I mean, low key.
The question is, what grade did he get?
Right. So I was going to say the most asked question
for the semi and the final, we would like to know what the grades are. And I would say, honestly, the truth of the matter is, like, we less so want to know, but the American public wants to know and has actually contacted everyone on these tiles to ask, what was the grade, Sir Lucious?
Okay. For the semi, he got an A. Would have been an A+, but he ran up on hurdle 6. For the final,
time out. That's a 1700th PB, and he still can't get an A+. Man, I would never want to take your class. You're the worst.
Would want to take it though.
I mean, I probably would though. I probably would want to take his class, to be honest, because yeah. I'm sorry, sir. Please forgive me, Sir Lucious. Continue. An A. Continue.
So before I was so rudely interrupted, as I was saying.
See.
He got an A for the semi, and he would agree that it would have been an A+ if he had not run up on hurdle 6. For the final, he got a B. Yeah, a B.
Really? Because I said B-.
He wanted to say minus. You know that he wanted.
I did. I wanted to say minus, but he gets just a regular B because he made the team.
The man got a B for the second fastest race he's ever run.
No, he got an A for that. Oh, for the second fastest race.
No,
he got a B.
No, he got a B for the second fastest race he's ever run.
Okay, so for the record, when he ran 12:98, he got a C. Okay.
I mean, those are facts. That is actually true. So actually, these are good grades. Good job. Good job, Flamingo.
These are solid
good job,
grades.
Flamingo.
And now that we have the grades, I just, we don't have the honor of witnessing this greatness every day like Sir Lucious does, and we are not a part of it. But I have to take a moment to pause here, because last year I do believe it was Budapest, Grant had an incredible race where he absolutely obliterated the field in the first half, fell apart on the second half. And I said at that time, watch that video. That is the prelude to the world record. It is happening.
Mhm.
It is coming. And I got largely crucified over this. And here we are, basically a year later, indoor world record is done. And if not for running up on hurdle 6 and getting an A, the outdoor world record would have been done already. And so I'm not going to crucify Lucious over the grades because he is the architect of this and believes, like I believe, that boy can put that record somewhere in the low 7s. And if you're watching, it's coming, and there's not anything anybody's going to be able to do about it. So bravo to the Holloways, even though they are not related.
They're cousins.
We're Holloways. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
And I'm going to say for the record, I think that 1260 something is actually
That's the goal.
that's the goal.
Oh, I mean, right now though, like right now.
Oh no, so do I.
Okay. Hey, I'm not gonna argue against it.
I think the thing that
Against
Grant has learned to do, and we've had these discussions privately, is that he's got to learn to stay away from the hurdle, and he's starting to be able to master that movement, and that's what you saw in the 1281. Many people ask, "Were you guys trying to break the world record?" No, never talked about the world record, and we will not talk about the world record. We talk about execution. We talk about mastering his movements, and that's what he did, except for hurdle 6. And then finally got to be because he ran up on, he was way too close to hurdle 1. And then, I mean, way too close, because Clyde was standing with me and I went, oh, and then he came off of hurdle 6 and was like, I got to make the team. It was just what I told him, get out front, make the team. That's what he did. So he gets a B. But I mean, very proud of him because he's really starting to understand and master the event. And there's still, the sky's the limit. But for those people out there that ask this question a lot, like what has he done the best job of? He's learned to stay away from the hurdle and master his movements and acceleration in between the hurdles. That's what he's learned. That's what he's learned to do.
What I love is that the criticism, and rightfully so, the feedback is that he ran up on the hurdle. To anyone who's watching the video analysis says that he's away from the hurdle because he's still super far away from the hurdle. But because you all have an objective and you know how it needs to be executed, he ran up. So it's like, it shows, it's a testament to the internet coaches who want to depict everything that's on video. And it's like, well, how can he say he ran up? He was so far away. And it's like, because you don't know what the intent is.
Well, so for the internet coaches out there that want to know, so
he's a unicorn.
That's true. So most of the hurdlers like to take off around 220-ish. For Grant to be successful, he has to be back at 235, which is almost 7 feet 8 inches. And that is a long way away. But that is his optimal takeoff point. And when he masters that, and I haven't got the numbers yet, but I would say in the 1281, he was probably close to those every place except for hurdle 6. He's probably closer to 220 at hurdle 6, and 220 is way too close for him. So yeah, he looks far away compared to most hurdlers, but if he wants to be the best ever, he's going to have to learn to live in the uncharted waters of 235 and beyond. And
for the internet, Twitter, Instagram coaches, do not listen to that and then go put your children at 235. It will not end well. He is a unicorn. Just let him be him. It ain't too bad. It's not the thing to be copied. Don't do it. You're going to lose some teeth. You can cause some injuries. Leave it alone.
Please understand, you normal people at home. The gentleman is 7-stepping the first hurdle and he's too close.
Yes.
Okay, just let that wash over you, and then don't do that with anybody that you coach, because they can't do that.
And he's not reaching. And
no,
I shouldn't say this publicly, but he can take 6 steps in first.
Okay, you definitely should never have said that.
But he can.
I know that he can.
Absolutely could.
Yeah.
No, it's been seen. How about that?
Right. But we're not going to do it. So don't No, not gonna happen anytime soon. Like I said, I'm just proud of him because, and I'll say it publicly, we were challenged. Too many people said that we couldn't fix the last 3 hurdles, couldn't fix the last 4 hurdles, and I found that laughable. And don't get me wrong, they're not totally fixed yet. There's still work to be done. But we're going to keep chopping away at it until we get it done. And I'm just proud of him for accepting the challenges I give him every day. And so I would tell you this: if you're trying to develop a world-class hurdler, the thing is to do is understand that you have to find their niche, you have to find their spacings and master those. It's really hard to, there is no model for Grant. He's, like Clyde said, he's a unicorn. So there's no data I can go to and say, well, this is exactly the way it should be.
One of one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna ask Mr. Lucious to answer this because he ain't that guy. So he can sit this one out. But in the reference of Grant is already the world champion. He is 0.01 away from tying the world record, and he is the odds-on favorite to win the Olympic title. So Big League and Lamar, pending the world record and pending the Olympic championship, how far away, what else does he need to do to be the GOAT?
I got a simple answer for that. And it's going to sound brutal, but it is what it is. Next year's are Worlds. And then the following years are Worlds.
Yep.
And then the following years, yeah.
Is that
and
right?
then the following, yes.
Yeah.
And then the following years in Olympics.
Yes.
And then the following years of Worlds, right?
Yes.
He needs to win gold in 3/4 of those.
75% of those. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would say all if they were spaced out. But listen, 4 years of greatness directly in a row has literally never been done by anybody.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I
Like,
wasn't following.
there's no space in there. So like asking somebody to go that hard, that long in a row is holistically unfair. Like, because the Olympics takes a lot out of you. And then the following year, the World Championship is going to empty the tank because it's at home. And then the following year, the World Championships is going to empty the tank because it's later in the year. And then the following year is the Olympics again. And then the following year is a World Championship. And then you can breathe the following. And at the end of the day, no one's been asked to do that ever in the history of the sport. And so I would say if he won 3 golds of those 4, probably is the GOAT. And the reason I say that is because literally nobody else has ever been asked to do that.
True.
Challenge accepted.
I was going.
I want to say for the record, that really wasn't a challenge.
I know.
He asked the question.
I can take it. Can I take it as a challenge?
Absolutely, because I was going to call you and challenge you anyway. So
Challenge accepted.
But so here is where I got lost is, so you're already considering the world champion.
He is the world champion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then you're saying he needs to get 4 more titles after that? Is that what you're saying? But
That's
okay,
right.
so you're not including the NCAA championship either.
no. Everybody who's a GOAT has one of those.
Okay. I mean, I don't disagree with that number. I was thinking 2 when you were giving the levels of it, but I mean, I understand why it's 3 out of the 4.
So
For me, I'm thinking of the consecutive years.
yeah.
To be
So,
3 consecutive years versus 4. And has anybody been asked to do 3? That was what I was going with.
and
Sure, because there's always a Worlds, Olympics, Worlds. There's always that.
But has anybody won all 3 of those? I don't know.
Absolutely.
That. Okay. Then
So-
4.
so that was actually that's why I asked the question. That's why I find it interesting because I think you just said it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Worlds, Olympics, Worlds in a row has been done.
I believe so. I have to
I'm
think.
not sure that it has, but let's pretend that it has. What absolutely has not been done is World,
Right.
Olympics, Worlds, and the record. That has not been done.
No, that has definitely not been done.
So to me, if he gets the record this year and wins the gold, to me, all he needs is one more. And that's a wrap. But that's me.
I mean, if we're gonna be completely honest, right? I don't think anybody else other than Colin has held the indoor and outdoor world record simultaneously.
I'm saying he's scary close. And it's we do these things in football and basketball. It might be a little bit unfair. It might be a little premature, but he's really close to righteously being able to say that.
I mean, that's very true.
He's really close.
I mean, if we're honest, if he breaks the world record, wins the Olympic gold medal this year, and wins the Olympic gold medal in 24, it probably is.
Oh, that would be enough, sure.
Because that would be back-to-back golds and the world record and a world championship.
With an indoor world record to boot.
With an indoor world record to boot.
I'm just saying.
He's definitely in a really short conversation.
So there you
anyway, we got more
So
greatness
there's
to discuss.
Yes. So next, sticking with the hurdles. Lamar, you look like you were going to say something.
No, he's good.
I was going to say something, but let's stay with the hurdles.
Okay. Sid the kid. Because she ain't a kid no more.
No, grown woman.
I'm gonna say this.
5190.
I'm jumping out there. Listen,
Uh-oh.
in my pre-race conversation with Big League, I predicted the world record. Did I not?
He did.
So I for sure am on Sid's side. But I'm going to say this, and I need everybody. Look, you can write it down. Say I said it. Dalilah Muhammad is going to be heard from in a massive way in a month. And by all accounts, from people who know, she's roughly a month or so behind what they had hoped for her to be. Therefore, she would be where they would hope she would be in a month. She ran 52:40 in her fifth race of the year. She was beating Sid at 300. So I'm going to say it like this. 51:90 is not going to be fast enough to win the Olympic gold medal. I am here popping popcorn, denting my couch, waiting to see this race. But for those of you who think, long live the queen because the queen is dead, you've lost it. Dalilah Muhammad will be heard from again.
That's a great place to start, and I'm gonna follow that up because okay. Per the conversation we just had about Grant, I'm gonna step out there, and I'm sure I'll get some pushback on this. As we sit here today, Dalilah Muhammad is the GOAT, world champion, Olympic champion, and until just a few days ago, had the world record.
Twice.
She is today the GOAT. But what I saw from Sid, and I agree with you, 51:90 is not going to be good enough to win the Olympic race. I agree with you 100%. What Sid and Bobby have figured out, what I'm watching on that screen, I don't think Sid is in any danger of losing whatsoever. If everybody arrives at the games healthy, not only do I think Sid wins it, I think Sid puts that record a hell of a lot closer to 51-0 than to 52-0. And honestly, with the way she's currently running the race, 14 stepping down the backstretch, which no woman has ever done, I don't think Sid's in danger of losing any races in that event for years to come. Sid will need to win and continue to win before she can claim the GOAT. But she has the world record. I don't think she's giving it up. She will be the Olympic champion. And she's doing something that no one else can do with the race. So I don't think she's in any danger whatsoever.
Well, when you when you have the former queen hanging around and she's as fearless as Muhammad, there's always a danger. I would agree that if Sid shows up and she's sharp and makes no mistakes, the record could be put someplace really, really nice. But knowing Dalila, knowing her coach, knowing Sid, knowing her coach, it's going to be an epic battle to the finish.
We almost got Crescent Mouse. We almost got it.
Epic battle to the finish. And I'm here. I will have the fortune of being there to watch it and can't wait. It's going to be an exciting race, but I too believe that Lilo will definitely make it interesting. But I also think that Sid will be ready to respond. So it's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, I think as insane as the men's 400 hurdles is for sure going to be, I think the women's 400 hurdles is probably going to be the best race at the Olympics.
Wow.
I mean,
Whoa.
pick it out. There's a lot there.
I mean, I hear Jackson to say, "Whoa!"
Hold on, before we
write it down.
Before we
write it down because I said it.
But before we move off of this, just as a fan of the event, I really have to say this. Like, what Sid and Dalila had going on at the front was amazing, but just as intriguing as what was going on right behind him. And as joyful as I am for Anna Cockrell and her story and all she has done, and for her to break through in that moment and make the team, I am equally as tragically sad for Shamir Little.
Oh my God! I almost cried. I almost cried for her.
I saw in the trials, like that was really tough to see. And Shamir was ready, man. Like, I don't think she was gonna win the race, but yeah, she was ready, man, and she was right there. And oh my God, that was tough. I feel so bad for that girl. I'm a huge fan of hers. I was sick about that one. But props to Anna Cockrell for handling her business and getting it done.
Yeah.
The people I feel sorry for are those poor collegiate female 400 hurdlers out there that their coach is telling them like they got a future in the sport. Like, good luck with that.
Right. Ain't none of these people old.
I mean, they're all. I mean, Dalila's the old woman of the group, and she's not old at all.
Right. Right. Now, sir, you said, I don't even know if this was next on the agenda, but it is weekend 2, and we're right here. The men.
Yeah.
I mean, look, as we are taping this a few hours ago, the Viking stepped out there and went 46-70. I don't know if you guys actually have seen the race yet, but I was watching it live. I really love that kid and what him and his coach have done strategically over the years. Like, it's just really fun to see it, because the way he runs that race, when he first decided to go there, he could only do it for about 6 to 7 hurdles. And then it was 7 to 8. And then it was 8 to 9. And then he could do all 10, but not the way he did it today. There was no struggle with it. It was smooth. It's always intense. It was a beautiful race, man. And it's gonna take a double world record to win that race at the Olympics for sure.
I'm gonna just put it to you like this, right? How many John Wick movies are there?
3.
Okay,
3.
So you got a whiff of John Wick 1.5 this past weekend, but John Wick 3 is showing up in Tokyo. And see, I am not gonna discount what the man did today. Okay, but you can show up, one-off race. They put you in lane 7. It's all choreographed for you in a one-off situation.
100%.
Kudos to you. But guess what? Go back and watch Rise 4684. Look at him, watch him the last 2 hurdles as he's looking up at the clock as he's striding along smoothly. Oh, there's more there. Okay. So I think John Wick 4.0 showing up, and it's gonna be epic. But I'm riding with John Wick.
Now, Sir Lucious, who's my favorite male athlete in the sport?
John Wick. I mean, I'm not dissing that.
Right.
I'm just telling you, okay, all I'm saying is this: that Lamar is high if he thinks the women's race is gonna be better than men. That's what I'm telling you.
Right. Wow.
No,
so okay, wait, time out. I gotta defend myself here.
Of course
Okay.
you do.
Go ahead.
Look. John Wick and the Viking have faced off multiple times at this point, right? We've even thrown in Samba, right?
Yeah, not when they've all been right.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. The two women have raced each other 3 times, and the last 3 times the world record has been produced. But y'all think I'm high.
No.
No,
Okay, 1 second. We just think you're high because you think the race is going to be better. That's all.
So
I think the race is going to be better because look, I'm going to say this. I think that those 2 women in the final are going to destroy the world record.
As will the 2 men.
so
Okay, I'm gonna put it out there right now. Well, I know Quincy and Joanna don't watch this show, right? I'm calling 46-30. I said it.
okay.
Write down a post-it.
All right, that's cool. So here's why I think you're wrong, Lamar. Here's why I think you're wrong, and it ties to what I said in the previous piece about the women. You're absolutely right. The last few times that Delilah and Sid face off, world records have been produced. But the only race that was really good was the world championship. Delilah led, Sid ran her.
Why was this race not good? 51.90 to 52.40? That's a bad race?
No, the race was
Yep,
awesome.
write it down.
Listen, the race was awesome, but it wasn't close. Going across the finish line, Sid was by herself.
Half a second, bro.
Look at the video.
4:10.
By herself. And I believe she will
Hold on. You're
Oh,
a
it is
cowboy.
half a
You math
second.
better than that.
It is
You
half a
math better than that.
Right. I believe she will continue to be by herself. The men, and I said because she has figured out her cheat code to the patterns that she's running. If Rye can win this race 1 of 2 ways. He can win it the way he just did, which is 13 for 10 around the track. He can win it. He can break the world record that way. He can beat the Viking that way. I think that race will be really, really close, really, really entertaining. And I think Rye wins it. But if Rye does the equivalent of what Sid just did, 12 steps down the backstretch, I think Rye runs 45 in the hurdles.
See, that's what's funny is like in my head, I have 50 point something and 45 something.
See, I don't think 50 points. That's just a little much.
The Viking can't go 45. Rye can. It's just how he chooses to go about it.
See, again, you have to watch the race. And okay, look, if anybody noticed that whenever the Viking is in a race, he's always outside.
Yeah.
Always outside. Gentler turn, right? Now, what happens if you get stuck in lane 3 or 4 at the championships? Not so gentle. Yeah, and then maybe I'm just delusional, but Rye looked so easy.
Easy.
The Viking was yes.
He didn't run the first half of the race at all.
See, he was running. It was just easy for him. That's the thing. See, and that's the thing with Rye. Like Rye can get to 5 or 6 easier than the Viking can.
100%.
Exactly.
Yes. That is.
Because if you watch the race, what the Viking did to get to 7 or 8, because remember the Viking took 15 from 9 to 10. Sure did. Rye's not taking 15. It'll be interesting.
I think that this event, no question, is going to be the best event in the Olympics, right? The 400 hurdles in general, like men's and women's combined.
Sure.
Well, see, we think that until we get there,
all
and
agree with that.
something else fires up, right? Yeah, it'll be interesting.
All right,
Next.
last one from the weekend.
Definitely not the last one, but go ahead.
Well, not the last one, but specifically on the races, 200-meter races for both genders.
Well, I mean, I personally thought the women's race was better because this was the second fastest woman ever.
Wait, that is the question, right? Is that what we're debating? Which race, men or
It's
women,
better.
was
Better, right? So I'm voting for the women because 2161 is 2161. Anybody ever run that fast before, other than FloJo?
No.
And it's okay. 2189 gets you beat by almost Gets you almost 3/10 of a second. I'm
21
saying.
is off the team.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. The men's race was really good. But 2161 blasting 2189. And then 2198 gets you fourth.
No, 19.8 gets you fourth.
99 gets you fifth. 99, no,
19.8.
99 was fourth.
Was it 88 to 90? Was it 90?
84 to 90.
And when 1984 is run by a 17-year-old kid,
those are brownie points.
Okay,
Okay, look, okay. I'll give you that one. I forgot about that.
I feel like this. I feel like this, right? Someone said to me, because I cannot take credit for this, but I think that this is 100% true. In just about every Olympics, if you win a gold medal, that is enough attention for you to make money off of your name, image, and likeness. Foreshadowing. In this Olympics, that will not be enough. It won't be enough. For you to win a gold medal will not be enough. And I say that because, like, look, Noah ran fast as hell. Nobody cares. Kenny Bednarik came to the trials and ran 9.8 and 19.8. And that was not enough to, like, be the darling. He's one of, what, 2 track and field doublers on the team? Right? Like, he's a dude. And there's a cat with braces right next to him, who's 17 years old, who at this point in time has a chance to make 2 Olympic teams by age, wait for it, 20. He has a chance to make 2 Olympic teams by 20. Allison Felix didn't do that, right? We're talking about Usain Bolt. And at the end of the day, the 3 dudes, in my opinion, ran as a group slightly better. And we're talking about like 2 different cuts of filet mignon. Like, at the end of the day, like the men's and women's 200s were phenomenal.
They both were, you're right.
Right? They were both spectacular. But if I have to pick one, I could watch that men's 200-meter race like 55 million times in a row on a loop.
So that's interesting. And you almost moved me on that one. I think so. Okay. The top of the women's race was better.
Yes.
The depth of the men's race, you could argue, is better. Like, what time got left at home in the men's 200 versus what time got left off the board, you know what I mean?
But aren't those really close? Like 1990, 2198.
Right, they're basically the same.
2213 was fifth.
Right, they're basically the same. So the reason that the women's race is ultimately just tad better is because the best news, the biggest story of the men's race is about the teenager who didn't win. The best story on the women's side is Gabby Thomas. And for me, world records from the trials aside, because world records are world records, Gabby Thomas had the performance of the trials in like what is, you could easily argue, is the best Olympic trials we've ever seen. Gabby Thomas taking Allison Felix off the board was spectacular. Like, utterly spectacular.
I mean, call me crazy. I don't think that anybody, look, I think Kenny Bednarik's performance at the US Olympic trials is so ridiculously underrated.
Oh, it is. It's underrated for sure.
Okay,
Dude,
okay, so
look, 19.8 and 9.8.
He's
Okay.
underrated.
So,
At the trials?
So Bednarik was absolutely astounding. No doubt about that. Gabby was good. Don't get me wrong. 2161 is spectacular, but not the performance of the week.
156.
Yes.
We haven't got to that yet.
Right. We just did 156. Okay, but again, even that, okay, 4670 means 4684 by yourself, 1281, 5190, 76 stupid.
Like I
No,
said,
I love Gabby.
trials ever.
I love what Gabby did, but no.
Okay,
she's-
so
no,
so wait a minute, hold on,
no, not the performance of the meet.
sir. You're the coach of the 1281. You weren't going for it, but was it unexpected?
Not to me, but okay. It wasn't unexpected to me, but it was unexpected
It
by.
wasn't. It wasn't
Okay, hold on a
unexpected
second.
for a
Hold on a
whole
second.
lot of people.
Hold on a second. No, I totally disagree.
Okay.
Totally disagree. Now, maybe not by the people on the screen right now, but I can guarantee you there's a whole bunch of people out there that thought he wasn't even going to break 13 seconds.
Well,
Guarantee it.
those
If you
people were
if you took a poll of people that were honest, they thought he was going to go run away for the first 5 hurdles and fail. Promise you, they thought that.
I mean, sure, but those people are stupid. Like I had Gabby Thomas winning the women's 200. I had that before the meet even started. I ain't see 2161, dog.
Yeah. Hold on, no, look. None of us did.
My God.
But her coach saw it. Just
Cool.
like Flamingo's coach saw 1281.
That's cool. But if you're talking about taking this poll, no one outside of TBBTC had that girl running 21.6.
Right.
Nobody. And
But that doesn't make it the performance of the meet.
it does for me. When you shock me in a setting like that, I'm hard to shock now. When you shock me in a setting like that, look, like I said, world records aside, I wasn't shocked that Grant did what he did. I wasn't shocked that Sid did what she did. I wasn't shocked that Krauser did what he did. I wasn't shocked that Mo did what she did. I actually had Mo running 54. And if she didn't get tripped by the irrelevant person in there, she might have done that.
Oh, she was running 54.
Gabby Thomas, the time she put up shocked the hell out of me. And I mean, seriously, like.
Okay, so we will call that the most shocking performance for you of the meet.
Almost sure, most definitely.
There you go.
But I have the women over the men in totality because the top was better.
I mean,
See,
that's your opinion.
I'm kind of on the fence with this one. And the only reason I put the women being a little bit better is because Gabby ran the second fastest time. That's it. Because the men was good.
Excellent.
The story of the men's was good. See, the thing people don't understand is, okay, the young boy ran, what do you run, 04, 88, 84? And in an 04 and an 88, he beat Noah.
Yeah.
Now, anybody with a brain knows Noah wasn't having that in the final. Like Lamar and I talked about that, right? We know like the Noah's going to show up.
Well, listen, beating him is one thing. Let's be real. He flossed on him in the semi. Like he was flossing going across the line.
Yeah, there were some words shared with him about that. So we'll leave it at that.
But no, seriously, I mean, listen, Arian Knighton, for all the fans of the show, all the nerds out there, like, it's not hyperbole. Look at the data, look at the ages, look at the years. The only comp that Arian Knighton has is Bolt. So
yep.
And really, okay, Bolt's world junior record was 1993.
Right.
He's a full 10th of that, ahead of that. And he still has 2 full years as a junior aged athlete.
Right.
So if you want to talk about the most shocking performance of the meet, that was probably it. Because 2 things. Nobody had him making the team. Well, I'll take that back. I don't know if you did, but Lamar called it. He did. Before he ever got there, he says, I'm telling you, the kid can make the team. And nobody saw him in 1984. Well, somebody on this tile did, but I'm not doing that.
But at every age that they track,
he's the best guy.
He's significantly better than Bolt at every age that exists to this point.
Yes.
So hopefully whoever's, managing him coach wise and otherwise doesn't screw it up.
That was funny.
Hopefully they don't.
Well. Staying in the arena, but changing the focus a little bit. We're going to talk about the collegiates, how the World Athletic Rankings did not help them. And we're going to lift up this subject because clearing up any misinformation, maybe, yes, Mr. Lamar.
Before we move on, I want to give a personal shout out to a coach and an athlete who took on an incredible task and dominated it, probably better than anybody. To be a combined eventer and show up to the Olympic trials without the standard and know that you have to be top 3 and get the standard, and to PR in not 1, not 2, not 3,
Welcome back.
not 4, not 5,
Across the street,
but
brother.
6 of the 7 events. To have lifetime best in 6 of the 7 events, and hell, second all-time ever in the 7th event at the trials, is not just getting it done, that is dominating all aspects of what has to happen. And so, look, what Annie Kuntz and her coach, Chris Mack, did at the trials, that just deserves a shot and a clap. And now we can move on, but I wasn't going to move on without that. I'm sorry.
Very, very, very well said. And yeah, I give Chris a shout out on Facebook. Phenomenal job, man. Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
But now back to this world rankings mess.
Yes.
So let's give props to Clyde because he touched on this last week, and I wasn't, because I'm thinking more of the sprint stuff. But when you go delve into the field events, and let's just be real, the person that is crushing right now is Tyra Gibbs. You know, she's 1 centimeter away from the high jump standard. She's 2 points away from the heptathlon standard, but then she misses the meet because she's 3 points shy on the world rankings.
Yes.
That's not fair.
Okay.
2 points in a heptathlon is roughly a 10th in the 800.
But let's be clear about the Tyra Gittens situation. And I'm probably going to get this slightly wrong. So Lamar, I might rely on you. As far as the descending order list for heptathlons in 2021, Tyra Gittens, I know for certain, is top 10 in the world. I think she's number 6 or 7.
7, I believe.
So the 7th best heptathlete in the world is not going to the Olympics in the heptathlon because where she performed it, World Athletics doesn't deem to be a credible meet. Oh, by the way, that was at the SEC Championships, which last I checked, mark for mark, event for event, if is not at least on par with any Diamond League, if not better. And because I just want to highlight this because I think for the general audience, listen, multi-events are complicated and hard for people to keep track of. So I'm going to ask my colleagues a question. Lamar, who is the best 800-meter runner in the world right now? Women.
Female?
Yeah.
I think Mo.
It's a good argument. Sir Lucious, would you concur?
Yes, I would.
Most people who watch the sport or know anything about it would say that right now, without a doubt, Athing Mo is the best 800-meter runner on the planet. She does have the #1 time in the world. Anybody know what she's world ranked? She's number 24. She's number 24. If that is not a just perfect elocution of how stupid this system is, I don't know what to tell you. But for World Athletics to have any integrity, I'm with the world rankings. I like the idea of the rankings helping to elevate the competitions and assign who gets to run in the better meets. I'm cool with all of that. But you have to take the bonus structure of points out of it because it is ridiculous. And it is such a disparity of reality. Athing Mo is not number 24. She's just not. But the rankings say she is. And Tyra Gittens is not 26 in the HEP, but the rankings say she is. Fortunately for Ms. Mo, she's an American and she goes to the American trials and dominates the field and she's going to Tokyo. But Miss Giddens represents Trinidad and Tobago and she can't get in the meet because of this system. It's
the difference, to be honest, just to be frank, is Athingmo has the standard and Tyra Gittens is 2 points from the standard, which is what then makes the rankings relevant, right? Like I said, it's 1/10 of a second in the 800.
Yeah.
Right. And if she has 3 more points, or actually 2 more points, her ranking is irrelevant. But to your point, a great number of people's rankings are what are keeping them off of or are putting them on Olympic teams, and that shouldn't be. Not the way the system is set up.
Yes, but to your point, yes, she doesn't have the score, right? But if she would have done the exact same score she did at a different meet, at a Diamond League meet, or
if she had done it at her own championships, they don't even have a combined events at her championships.
Right.
But all national championships are graded basically twice what the SEC championships is. So if she had done the same score at her championships, she would be in.
Right. So it's not even about her points. Her world ranking points are not a reflection of her performance. They're a reflection
It's where she did it.
Of the bonus structure based
Yes.
on where the meet was. That is mind-blowingly annoying. Like I can't even process it. It's so unfair. And of course, the collegiates, the NCAA collegiates, are always going to bear the brunt of this because their meets aren't scored properly.
No argument on that one at all, sir.
Well, and I'll say that my 2 cents on that in regards to her ability to achieve this is she picked the wrong event, right? Because we saw Cole Hawker run races after the fact and kind of play the waiting game as different heats went off. And now he's on the team.
Well,
like,
right.
You can't just go and do a hep willy-nilly.
Right. So Cole Hawker is in the Olympics because after our trials ended, the other trials around the country didn't produce marks that bumped those guys ahead of him. So he had to play the waiting game. Another one that I just realized because it was nutty. Aaliyah Hobbs, if you go pull up Aaliyah Hobbs's profile, look at her world rankings. You get your world rankings by your top 5 performances, right? Aaliyah Hobbs finished 6th place and ran 11:25 in Doha. And that race gives her more ranking points than when she won at the LSU Alumni Gold and ran under 11 seconds. So according to World Athletics, 10:9 is not as good as 11:25 as long as you did it at the place they like it. That makes no sense. None.
That is actually really, really well said and explained, because I think most people who watch our show really understand the collegiate system, but don't understand the professional system. And I think that was very, very well explained, because I think people really need to understand, because it doesn't affect Americans as badly usually, because usually we have standards.
Right.
Usually. They don't understand that in field events where there are standards that are very difficult and sometimes are not achievable as readily or as easily. If this ranking system is what's supposed to fill out the field with those who don't have the very steep standards, it's got to be a better system. You should not have to go to Europe. You should not have to be in a Diamond League. Just be in it, mind you. You don't have to necessarily be good in it, but you should not have You should not have to be in these meets in order to qualify for the Olympics or Worlds. Your performances should stand up.
Especially in the middle of a pandemic when half of them couldn't get over the meet.
Right.
Yeah.
So sorry, Miss Gittens. You deserve to be there.
Yes, you do.
You deserve to be there in the heptathlon.
100%. And she's going in the long jump, and that's cool. But she's a hep. And
a darn good one.
A darn good one.
speaking of the teams and the teams that we've created around the world, specifically for our Olympic team, let's speak to the youth of that current team that's just been formed. And we just talked about it. The 17-year-old made it.
I think
And that's
Lamar,
not the only one.
Lamar has been saying for the last 6 weeks that he thought this would be the youngest and most talented team since the '68 team. And he didn't have a cup. So I listen. And kudos, sir. You were right. So speak away, man.
You know, I was blessed enough to have been on a resurgence team where this just happens. The birthdays and the way it works, where you have an old team, right? And that was the '92 team. And because of that, there's enough turnover in the 4-year span that in '96 we had a really young team. Right. So I've been lucky enough to see that happen. So I kind of saw what was going on in the world of track and field in the United States. And it's like a lot of the younger people are running fast enough to make the teams and make the standards. And a lot of the more experienced people are getting just like that. It's crazy that one pandemic year probably changed this a fair amount. Because that 1 year, like, look, Allison being a year older probably didn't necessarily help her in the 200. It for sure helped her in the 400 because she had time to be more fit after the baby and Bob's your uncle. I guess all I'm saying is I'm not necessarily Nostradamus. I do appreciate the fact that I was correct in this particular one, but what I've been
subtle flex.
What I've been on Sir Lucious about, and I think he will co-sign to this. The biggest thing for me is the protection of the greatness of the innocents. Now, as all these youngsters have made the 2021 Olympic team, right? What that really sets us up for is the ability to dominate the world in some level of like curb stomping effect in 2024. So we have to nurture this group through the toughest 5-year span that's ever happened in track, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Right? Like that's never happened. And everybody needs to like wake up and smell the coffee. That Worlds and Olympics for 5 years in a row has never been asked of anyone. But this group we have, that's the lot in life they've been given. And the Javon Harrisons and Ariane Knightons and Athing Mose and so on of the world are prepared for a massive medal haul over the next 5 years if we nurture them, if we help them. If we give them and their coaches information that they're gonna need, like you probably shouldn't do indoors in some of these years. Yes, I know there's indoor worlds twice in there. You probably should ignore some of that.
At least one of them, right?
At least one of them, right? Like, look, you can't get blood out of a turnip. My grandmother used to always say, and like, look, 2/3 of the men's long jump, 2/3 of the men's high jump are collegians, right? Like we have some really young events. Like Donovan Brazier didn't make this team, but let's be clear, he's probably going to make the next 4. There's a very good chance of that. He's still a baby. Hello? Right? And so on. Bryce Hoppel is a baby. We got to keep that group engaged and encouraged because they may very well have made this team and then go to Tokyo and get their face punched in, because that wouldn't be out of character for young people at their first major championship. I'm not predicting that. I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does, I'm really not predicting it.
Right.
But my point is, regardless of what happens, they still need to be protected and nurtured and encouraged and supported through this 5-year gauntlet, because it's gonna get the best of a lot of people.
And
I agree, and I think that that's the key to, you know, what we have to do as an Olympic staff this year, as a World Championship staff the next 2 years, and Olympic staff again in 24, is understand the youth and understand the pitfalls that are being placed in front of a lot of these young people. And you know, I'm excited because there's people that we're leaving at home that are young and very
Yeah.
talented. You know,
Yeah.
and so the future of USA track and field is incredibly bright. But like I said, it has to be managed well, and it has to be. We kind of have to take a step back and not feel like we have to take the Ferrari out, drive it fast every weekend. You know, and as I talked about on the Lost episode, I think what we're seeing is a product of what I would like to call a red shirt year for everybody. You know, so when we're talking about these major championships we're about to face into, remember, sometimes rest is best.
I mean, go ahead, Clyde. I was just gonna say, like, what just popped in my head really fast was just that, like, if not for missed tests and things going according to Hoyle, one of the American men who just ran as fast as they ran in the 100 doesn't make the 100 team because Christian Coleman beats all of them. Right? Again, according to Hoyle, that's what I'm saying. I'm not predicting that either. I'm just saying, like, that's how good we are right now. Right? And Christian's back next year.
Yeah.
there's a lot of what ifs in that pile. I'm gonna leave that one out. But I can't speak any better to the mastery that the youth had on display over the last 2 weeks in Eugene. They were absolutely phenomenal and deserve to be praised, and everything that Lamar just said is absolutely true. I hope that the unprofessionalism of our business doesn't eat some of these people alive, because we see it a lot. Having said that, in the midst of the youthful domination of the trials, it just makes what some of the vets did even more spectacular. And like what Allison did, she gets a lot of praise. We don't need to pile onto that, but Allison is phenomenal. Brittany Reese.
Let the church say amen.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and I'm sure Chu's gonna get some emails about this. Women's long jump GOAT, Brittany Reese. Like, she's.
I don't think anybody's giving any emails on that. Like,
you'll get some. Like, for Britt to do, like, people don't really realize Britt's undefeated at the Olympic trials. 4 of them. Okay? Like, extremely decorated. And I don't know who the people are that thought because she didn't make the final in 2019 at Worlds that somehow it was over. Like, Britt's a goon, man. Like, if Britt's showing up, she's not coming to play. And what she did out there was just phenomenal. Matthew Centrowitz somehow has become the old man. I remember when he was on the youth train, when he was the surprise star, right? And so, like, there was a few of those situations that popped off at the trials, and you got to give these people their flowers while they're here, because, man, you're not going to see another Brittany Reese. You're not.
Well, it'll be a while before you see it. Don't say you're not going to see more.
Okay, fair enough. And so, like, the cyborg that is Jovan Harrison, right? Like, we all were rooting for him to make the team in both events. We all thought he could do it. The boy won them both. Like, so Jovan is freaking phenomenal. will he be that good for as long as Brittany's been that good? I don't know. I hope so. But it's really hard to hold on in this game as long as some of these people have. And the cool thing about this sport is that when it looks like it's over with you, or when it looks like the sport is done with you, it's unceremonial. Like, it's cold-blooded. Watching Justin have to go out on his shield, knowing he was not ready to finish that race, was painful to watch. But he took it like a man. He went out there and did it. He could have hid in the back. He could have just not ran, right? So there were a lot of all-time greats out there, some who advanced and some who didn't. But the youth absolutely dominated the meet. And Lamar definitely called that, and props to him. But proper attention must be paid to these vets who are still out there in the ring throwing punches, not just taking.
You know what? To your point, I'm going to say this right now. If Brittany Reese is not a flag bearer in the Olympics, there's a problem.
I mean,
I said it. Somebody else run with it. If she is not a flag bearer for the Olympics, there's a problem.
so
I don't know who's supposed to hear that. I guess I'll have to research that one.
They know who's supposed to hear that. They know. And my messenger, who can hear me now, he knows who to deliver that. He knows who to deliver that message to.
Oy vey. Oy, oy, oy.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, look, the best description of Brittany Reese was given tonight. She is a goon. And for those of us who have hood mentalities, we understand, like, that's the best thing you could say about somebody. She is an athletic goon. And Javon Harrison is just not of this planet at the end of that. That's like, I during the whole process, I said to Sir Lucious, see, like, look, common sense would say this. Once you've made the Olympic team in the high jump, you stop jumping. Yeah, that didn't happen. Once you've made the Olympic team.
He's like, I'm going to win.
Right. Once you've made the Olympic team, I mean, look, when Dendy passed him in the long jump, like, okay, dude, third of the trials.
Yeah, he never had to pass him. Dendy was leading from the second jump.
Okay, fair enough.
But he was in the spot. I understand the point you're making. No one else.
Right. Like, there's no need to, like, wait, hold on, let me go get Dendy and show him what it's really about.
Right.
For no reason.
Personal best.
Just like I'm gonna drop this on you, and you know some more is coming for you in a month, but just hold this for me. It's like
8:47, was it?
And Dendy will take that challenge, by the way.
Oh, for sure he will. And then, like, you know, I love Marquise. So, like, at the end of the day, I'm a fan of all of this. But I will say this at the end of the day, they all got a problem because the games are going to be easier for him than the trials were. That's all I'm gonna say.
They're on separate days, my friend.
They all got problems.
They're not a couple hours apart. They're hours apart. So.
Hey, look, listen, Marquise Dendy, one of the feel good stories of the trials as well, because that dude been through a lot. So very happy. Props to him and Nick getting out there and getting that done.
Yeah, I can promise you, Nick Peterson walked in a circle for about 2 miles. That's what he does. He wore a path out over there. I know I wasn't over there with him, but I know he was walking in a circle. I guarantee he was.
Yikes. So much. Yeah. Can't wait for the Olympics. I'm not even going to talk about it. Just can't wait for the Olympics. So in other jaw-dropping news today, if there wasn't enough, there's more. Just wait, there's more. The three-letter word or three-letter acronym that keeps getting mistakenly typed. It's not an NLI. It's NIL. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that today. Name, image, and likeness.
NIL.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? The one that actually is going to be super, super, super imperative. And I think we saw one tonight already as to who stays, who goes, and other things that happen along the way. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this Supreme Court ruling about name, image and likeness. Well, I got lost. Sorry.
Well, we discussed the ruling, last week, because the
Yeah.
ruling was out. But for me, it's more about the impact, and like all things, there's a lot of hyperbole and panic on all sides of this thing, right? As we said before, it was the righteous decision, and since the NCAA knows that they lost utterly on this, they said, okay, cool, done. Thursday, we on. Let's go. Do what you do. The funny thing is, a lot of the campuses clearly have already been prepared with this, because within an hour of them putting that out, you got social media posts, you got emails going out, you got structure in place already. So, people have known that the jig is going to be up for a while. For me, in the context of our sport and in the context of NCAA sports as a whole, actually, I think that the largest net effect of this thing is that kids are going to be inclined to stay in school longer. I think so, because if I can make real money, listen, there's only going to be a handful of people that can make real money with this. Let's be clear. But if I can make real money with it, maybe I'm less inclined to dip out so quickly. At least that's what I hope to see. And on a small example of that, I think Trevor Bassett, Division II superstar, announced today that he's going to return for his final year, because he can do two things at once now, because he can use his name, image, likeness, and get some checks.
I think the athletes of that level, that middle level, it's more profitable for him to stay in school and do his thing because he's not going to get a contract, right? So for those athletes will, most of those athletes don't turn pro early anyway. He's probably going back to school because he's got a fifth year, maybe a COVID year sometime. But I think what you're going to see is, I'm kind of on the wait and see how this all turns out thing. I don't think people think it's going to be as easy to do from both sides of the coin, from the athlete side or from the administrative side. I think there's going to be people walking the fine line and still doing things they shouldn't be doing. So I'm kind of wait and see right now. It's day one. Let's see where we are on day 100.
So I often have very interesting takes on these kind of things, as you guys love to bemuse. And today will be no different. And this one actually comes from my chosen profession. The NCAA, have you guys ever had, you guys all have like a friend or an associate, probably not a friend, who always embellishes a story? Like there's always more to it or less to it. And this when you're talking to them.
All the time.
So for all of us professionally, that's the NCAA, right? Anytime they give you something, or anytime they acquiesce to something, trust me, there's another shoe to it, right? So I'm going to enlighten these tiles and the rest of America who's paying attention to me now to what the other shoe is. You are indeed allowed to make money off your name, image, and likeness, right? We all agree on that, right? Do you know what is still an NCAA violation and will cause you to end your amateur career? If you hire a professional, also known as an agent, to help market you or to manage said bookings. So, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, that is correct. So now you have the ability to make money off your name, image, and likeness, but you can't hire a professional whose job it is to do that for you.
Still can't have an agent.
You still can't have an agent. So do y'all see the Ponzi scheme? The NCAA never, listen, I promise you, if they hand you an olive branch, it's poisonous and has thorns. These poor kids have been given this belief that they're about to make this money. I work in this industry. That does not happen if you do not have professionals helping you do it. And now you can't hire a professional, which means you're going to have unprofessional, non-licensed people helping you do this, which is going to end up having you be abused. People are going to take advantage of these kids, sign them up for things, get money off of their name, image, and likeness, and the talent is still going to fall on the short side of this. And it infuriates me the way the NCAA does business. It infuriates me the way the NCAA is allowed to do business. Because how can you tell these kids you can make money off of your name, image, and likeness, but if you hire somebody professional to help you do that, then you no longer have any eligibility? That's ridiculous.
That 100% is ridiculous. And obviously with one day out, I must have missed that part of it. I didn't see that distinction in there.
Like I said, let's see where we are on day 100.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, facts.
For sure.
These are facts.
I'm like, look, when I saw the announcement, literally the first thing was, okay, now be careful what you wish for. Like that was my instinct, because I assure you, like you're gonna have right now in mid-major track and field America somewhere, there's coaches that got text messages today like, Coach, I need you to help me start getting my brand together. We're gonna make this money. You're like, bro, what are you talking about? What are you saying? And then there's other people there's other student athletes who are gonna sell their name, image, and likeness and ultimately screw themselves in a way that they're not prepared for either. So, I think it's going to be up to the institutions, some of which will do a great job, some of which will do a horrible job, to manage these people through this as best they can. But there's going to be all kind of shortfalls, there's going to be all kind of pitfalls, there's going to be all kind of mistakes made. And, for me, the other side of this is anybody that thinks this is going to help to quell corruption. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's going to make it a lot worse. It's just going to be, the kids may not lose eligibility over it for the first time ever. So, it's going to be
NCAA
weird.
just created a new job.
Or they should be creating some jobs, right?
They just created another position in administration.
For
Hopefully.
That will be filled by somebody who doesn't have the skill set and is completely inadequate, but thinks that that's the fastest way to become an athletic director at like Sheetrock State at some point. And that's who they're going to give the job.
Tell us how you really feel.
The unfortunate part is, like, I wish I was wrong. And all three of you know that I'm not.
State,
yes, I said sheep. I should, because I'm not going to diss a real school.
Little do you know.
All right.
Right. That's what they all said about Slippery Rock State until it was true. So anyhow. Well, let's bring up bring down our blood pressures, only to bring it back up with fun stuff. Not that wasn't fun, but less taxing things. Let's get some rapid fire going. Clyde, I feel like I haven't seen you in the seat for a while, probably because it's been so weird.
But episodes, double up on the last one. I guess that means I'm gonna have to take questions from both of them again, right?
Yep.
I'm ready.
All right. Stretched out, dynamic mobility going. Here we go. What is the first world record that falls in Tokyo?
I haven't memorized the schedule that closely. Sir Lucious, how early is the shot put?
It's the first day. It's always the first day.
It's always the first day.
Day one.
Love it. You're 17 years old again, since that's the magic number right now. You're in the drive-thru at Jack in a Box, for those who don't know that lingo. Are you getting tacos or a sourdough jack?
Jumbo Jack, extra cheese. No,
Oh,
no condiments.
what time is it? Let me ask that.
2:30 in the morning.
3:27 in the morning for sure.
At least.
Oh, goodness gracious. What was the last book that you read?
Well,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
it's pretty obvious, and I wish I had it in my purview, but it's Survive in Advance.
Survive in Advance.
There you
And
go.
it's Survive in Advance. Still
There you
available.
go.
Amazon.
Great answer.
TB.
Good answer. Good answer. Who is your favorite female broadcaster on ESPN?
Oh my God, she went there.
Female broadcaster on ESPN.
This is true right now. Ba, 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 ba.
I think.
Ooh, Lord.
I think.
Wait, he's talking.
I think it's Maria Taylor.
I like it.
It's Maria
I
Taylor.
like it. Who now for the NBA Finals since the Clippers are out?
Yes. I'm sorry. What's the question?
I did throw.
I'm sorry. What's the question? With my Birdman hair roll? What's the question?
Oh my God. I'm so done right now.
Who now?
Look. Ain't no who now. It ain't who now since the Clippers are out. Let's be clear. The Clippers going to clip. I said that before the playoffs started.
He did.
The-
He did say those exact words. The Clippers going
The
clip.
Three Stooges ain't getting out of the East. I said that before the playoffs started. So the NBA playoffs have given me so much joy in my downtime outside of track. I have no teams that I'm rooting for because I'm not a team guy. Giannis and them seem scared to win. I'm cheerleading for the Suns. Let's go CP3. Let's go Monty Williams. That's the story I want to see. But oh yeah, Clippers gonna clip. Three Stooges are out. Bravo.
Do you utilize a wallet or a money clip?
Oh man. I just got this thing called Exter, and you push a button and your cards pop out the top. It's dope.
Ooh.
That's what I
Got it. And I'm doing this for reaction. Crocs or slides?
I've been told I'm not allowed to wear either. I've been told I'm not allowed to wear either. But I have a pair of Birkenstocks. They're very comfortable.
Got it.
Oh my God.
Got
But you
it.
can't wear Crocs or slides?
No, I'm saying so that would qualify as slides technically. But
Refined.
anytime I try to put them on, I get side eyes or told to take them off. So, slides I get.
It's because you got to put them in sport mode. Put them in sport mode and everybody's good.
Oh my God.
Anyhow, Clyde,
All of this.
you have survived my questions.
Yes.
So Lucious and Lamar, have at it.
Thank you for the NBA question. I've been waiting.
I had to give you that. Who's going first?
I got nothing, Lamar. Go ahead.
Wow.
I'll think of something, and when you're done, I got nothing.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna ask one. Outside of the women's or men's 400 hurdles and the men's shot put, if I told you a world record was going to be broken at the Olympics, what record would you say it would be?
That was too easy.
Really?
I mean,
Interesting.
it's kind of too easy because, you didn't mean to make it this easy. Obviously, my answer is going to be the men's 110. But
I didn't know it was easy, but okay, my bad.
That's going to be my record. But if I want to go outside of the box a little bit, the women's 4x4.
Okay.
If, of course, the right people end up on the track.
Dang, making them shots at you, coach.
I'd be.
No. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. At the relay coach.
Coach is.
Sir Lucious.
Okay, so what do you think will be the winning time in the women's 100 hurdles?
See, that's the one I thought he was going to pick when y'all were busy
Hey.
saying it was too easy.
No, that's I don't see the world record going right now.
I don't see Kenny lowering her own record, and I don't see anybody in the field that can break it. So,
But my question is, what's the winning time and who's the winner?
Who's the winner?
Mhm.
Golly. I think the winning time is somewhere between, do I have to give you an exact time? I think the winning time is somewhere between 12:35 and 12:45. No? All right, so I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna say 12:40 and oh man.
That's hard.
It's really hard. Danielle Williams.
She didn't even make the team.
She's not on the team?
She was fifth.
Nope. She was fifth at the trials.
I didn't see the Jamaica trials at all. Okay. Then if Danielle's not in the group, then I think Kenny wins it. I think Kenny wins it.
The level of
I
disrespect
stumped you
in
a
that
little.
whole thing was just terrible.
I stumped you pretty good, didn't I?
No, you did. I didn't watch it at all. Who's on the Jamaican team in the hurdles? Brittany Anderson.
I know who's not on it.
Wow. I need to go look at those results. I didn't even consider Danielle wasn't on the team. Yeah, look. Nia's not there, who, pre her having a new baby would have been my favorite. It's gotta be Kenny's time, right? It's gotta be.
Well, so I'm gonna ask a question because this is a real question. I'm not being petty, and is Brianna going to the Olympics or not?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
Her ruling hasn't been decided yet.
So I'm gonna say this: if Bri is in Tokyo and allowed to run, I'm not betting against her.
Okay, hold on a second. It wasn't your question.
It was.
So damn it.
Okay, so it's Megan Tapper, Brittany Anderson, and Yannick, is that how you say it? Thompson. Those are the three. Danielle's reserve. That's literally her title, reserve 100-meter hurdles.
All right, well, reserve in Jamaica typically means some shenanigans can pop off. So get my girl Danielle back in there. I don't know what happened. I gotta go watch that race.
Wow.
Yeah, you do.
Interesting. I'm side note asterisk. Kevin Nelson's in the pool for the mixed 4x4.
That's not gonna happen.
That's interesting. I guess scrolled down and then popped up. So anyhow, moving on.
Hey, look, if any of you people like gambling, bet any amount of money you want. Cameron Nelson is not gonna step out there to run a mixed 4x4.
The heck?
That's
So
crazy.
weird.
And,
That is weird.
maybe they just need to fill spots. You know what I mean? Like that's a way to get her in there. Now, if you told me she was
So
in
weird.
one relay pool, that would make sense.
But yes, let's close out the night with our ever-loving heartbeat props. Aww.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Short and sweet. One of the absolutely most underrated coaching jobs that went on this past weekend is Sammy Dabbs. Sammy Dabbs took two unsigned talents that no one was really thinking about and put them in the men's and women's 400-meter hurdle final. Specifically, AJ, listen, that kid started learning how to hurdle roughly 5-6 months ago and ran 48.5 and missed the Olympic team by 1 spot. We have a lot of underrated coaches in our world, and Sammy Dabbs might just be the best of them. Phenomenal job, bro. I don't know who else could have pulled something like that off, but all the people under his care are in great hands. And I really, really hope the industry recognizes what he did there and finds a way to keep AJ in the sport, because that kid's had a lot of struggles and he has finally found his niche. And a year from now, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a very serious problem. So Sammy Dabbs, underrated performance of the year by a coach. Bravo, sir.
Gentlemen, do you have anybody, or are either of you ready?
Wait, Bigly.
Oh, Lamar's shaking his head.
Oh no, I was just shaking my head in agreement with Mr. Clyde.
AKA you not even paying attention.
No, don't do that. Don't
I'm
do that
kidding.
to me.
I'm kidding. Got it.
Don't piss me off on worldwide TV.
Oh.
Slow your roll, though, homie. Okay. Heartbeat props tonight from me. I want to give a shout out to this merry-go-round, this ride that we call July, mid-June of coaching jobs, coaching carousel. To those who are leaving jobs, to those who are getting jobs, to those who don't know what jobs are yet, hang in there. It happens every year. Don't stress over the things that you can't stress about. Like, you have controllables, you have uncontrollables, and let those things be. Be the best you can be, win whatever you can win, and it is what it is. It doesn't matter how good you are, it's who likes you. Let's just be real. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that your validation isn't based on the job that you do or do not get, or invalidation at that point. So just wanted to make sure that everyone felt a little bit of love for those who are uncertain, or those who might feel slighted because people are talking about them, about the job they got. So here's a little extra love for you all today.
I want to give my heartbeat props to a couple of Gator greats, Marquise Dindy and Will Clay, who fought back from Achilles surgery and major knee surgery, tendon surgery for Dindy and Achilles for Will. Both of them fought back to make the Olympic team. Will winning it on his last jump, and Marquise jumping one of the top 5 jumps of his life. Watching Marquise go through what he went to, talking to Will on occasion and knowing what he was going through. Kudos to their coaches, Jeremy Fisher and Nick Peterson, for their job as well. Just want to say congratulations, guys. I'm very proud of you. And as always, go Gators.
My heartbeat props go to a group of people that I know have never watched this show and probably never will, but they currently stay on my mind pretty much 24/7. In 10, 11, and 12 days, the group of gentlemen who I am blessed to be the baseball agent for will be facing the the grueling 3-day grind of the MLB draft. And these last 10 days are out of their hands, mine as well for the most part. I've now fielded 17 phone calls from agents in the last from scouts in the last 48 hours in reference to them. And my heartbeat props go to that group. You know, may you lock your self-worth into all the work that you've put in and not take the draft seriously. if you think you're supposed to go in the third round and you go in the seventh, that doesn't mean you suck. That just means that's where they bought you. And at the end of the day, once the draft day is over, everybody's even. You go to professional development and they try to see who can play. And my heartbeat props go to all of the gentlemen that I have in the 2021 draft. I wish them the greatest amount of luck, skill, and love. And 10, 11, and 12 more days, boys. 10, 11, and 12 more days.
Got it. Well, as the weeks in the last over a year have shown us, we can always have fun with these 4 tiles, talk a lot of talk, get some things revealed, and expose our overall audience to things they may not have known. So thank you for those of you who have sent myself and the other 3 tiles questions or topics that they wanted us to address. We got a lot of it out on this one for those requests that came in over the last 2 weeks of the trials. But as always, gentlemen, thank you so much for your 2 cents. We'll see if we can make sure we can get those baseball guys the link to the show to see, so they can hear those heartbeat props. So as always, be safe, have fun, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks.